Good afternoon, everyone. As our church motto says, open hearts, open minds, open doors. And we believe this. This is our message. So with that in mind, we welcome you.
Our reader's play is based on 1926 book written by Sutton E. Griggs, Trumpet of the Simple Virtues of the Life Story of John L. Webb. The language may sound a bit different, even the rhythm of the wording, but listen closely for a story not told in many years.
Well, my name is Cheryl Batts, and I'm the Executive Director and founder for Phoebe, which stands for People Helping Others Excel by Example. Right now, one of our major projects is to save the John Lee Webb House. The house is historic in that it is a contributing structure to the Pleasant Street Historic District, which is a national historic district. It is the largest one in the state of Arkansas.
The Webb House was constructed around the 1900s by the Edwin Hageboom family. It was created with the Queen Anne style, which was very popular around this time. The Queen Anne style is generally 2 stories in height and often features corner towers, turrets, or projecting bays. Large wraparound porches with milled columns and balusters are usually present on the main facade. This house that was constructed around the 1900s by the Edwin Hageboom family was home to John Lee Webb and family for almost 30 years.
John L. Webb was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, September 17, 1877, of the Reverend B. L. Webb, Baptist minister, and his wife Henrietta. Webb's father was not a rich man, so the son had to do a great deal toward providing for his own wants. As he traveled from place to place, he took his son John with him, and young John at a very early age began to develop a reputation as a speaker. It was not until he was 11 years old that young Webb entered the public schools. 8 years later, he became a student of Tuskegee Institute, where he stayed until he was graduated. He made money to pay his own way to school, by working in the town of Tuskegee, and by waiting on the tables at the Alabama Conference and Female Institute, and by picking cotton.
It actually started in 2014 when we were given the house, and that we started off with fundraisers and writing grants, and basically we saw money. We just knew we needed money to restore and to restore the house. We didn't think about what comes first, the chicken or the eggs, the roof, the bricks, or the windows. You know, we just knew money had to be gotten. So how much work has been completed? Well, in our minds, a lot. We had started with nothing, and we went through and we first of all started to get the yard together to clear that out, and then we found that bricks were falling off, so we put up an enclosure to keep people from getting hurt. We went and got all the building permits that were necessary. We got the water turned on. It was a step-by-step process. So at this point, we have grants from the Arkansas Department of Heritage for the roof. We have a grant from our local CBDG funding to do the windows, and all of the rest of the money is coming from everybody that's watching this film. You know, just everyday people who want to see this happen. So we are, I won't say that we're halfway there, but I would say when you get the roof done, everything else falls into place. So the roof is done, the windows come next, and now we want to do the bricks. As we began to engage others with the house and talk to them about the house and the history of the house, the more we found out about the history of the house and Mr. Webb, the more people wanted to give. So we decided to try a GoFundMe page. So we did. It's a GoFundMe page campaign, Save the John Lee Webb House, and anyone can go there and click on and give any amount. When you're looking at a project that's going to cost $500,000 and you're looking at grassroots people, because that's who we are. We're looking at community, we're looking at our family, we're looking at our friends, historians, people who want to see that house saved because of the elegance of it, the history of it. They can give $5, $10, it doesn't matter, there's nothing too small. actually have to tell the truth, I was backed into it. I think if I had looked at it and I had the presence of mind that I had right now, I would have said no. But I didn't. What happened was we started working with our young people. They have an intergenerational relationship going with our senior adults. They began to confirm and document the history of Hot Springs, and we found that that house became a very central part to people like Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune visiting our city and other people like her on that level. And as we began to develop and get this information together, we wrote a book, and the book won an award. And so I didn't think I could write, so who writes a book and it gets an award the first time out? I was just like, whoa, okay. And the owner of the house read the book and decided she wanted to be a grandmother and gave us the house. So if I had thought to buy the house, if I had thought to look to get the house, it would not have happened, because I would have never stepped off and got that much. It's a big job.
As a student, Webb strove at all times to do his duty and won a high place in the estimation of his teachers. Mr. Booker T. Washington said of him,
"We never had a more earnest, a more honest person, or one more determined to accomplish something in life."
as a young black man, he volunteered for the Spanish-American War. He was assigned to the 2nd Division of the 3rd Alabama Regiment and became color bearer for Brigadier General Carpenter. After 12 months in the Spanish-American War, he was honorably mustered out of Camp Anything. In 1903, he went to Marianna, Arkansas to do work for the Indiana and Arkansas Lumber Company. It was while at this place he met and fell in love with a young woman who was later to become his wife. In 1904, he worked extensively in Carlisle, Mississippi. In that same year, he went to Yazoo City, Mississippi, and did considerable construction work. But it was while he was doing his construction work, his mind ever remained on the girl he had met in Marianna, Arkansas. So in 1905, he went to that city to claim her as a bride and took her to Yazoo City, where he built a home for his family.
I'm very connected to the house. When I first read the book about John Lee Webb, and I read about how great a man he was and what all he brought to Hot Springs in that greatness, not just a contractor, but he had a heart and a love for young people. And I have a heart and a love for young people. So as I read his contributions to our community, he was the one with his wife that started the Emily Elise Webb Community Center, so young African Americans back in the 40s would have a place to go. So I'm uniquely tied to Mr. Webb. I'm tied to that house emotionally because I feel that what he saw when I read the book, his life, his determination, his decision to work with people of all colors during a time when segregation was really the quote of the day. And he crossed all boundaries. To me, that's a man to be honored and a man to be followed, even though he was born in 1977. It doesn't matter, because his ideas and ideals, or if we follow them today, we'll be able to get a lot more done within our communities.
At the end of the book, it is written, and I quote, "There are reasons why this story cannot now have a conclusion. In the first place, the life of Mr. Webb is not ended, and he is just now entering his prime. All signs indicate that his achievements in the future are to surpass those of the past, great as they have been. But when Mr. Webb's last day on earth has come, and the last deed of his activities have been recorded, that will not be the end, for the currents of the good which he has already set in motion, and will continue to set in motion, will widen and widen until they break upon the international shores, having wrought great good in every one of the countless years that are to intervene between the present and that eventful hour when time, as we know it, shall be no more."
you.